Hello, this is Malorian. This is now going to be a fantasy battle report, 2,500 points, and the third game of the Bretonnian campaign. So right now, Malorian's in the lead for the third round. Poor Anthony from the Sustainable Center did not do so well, so I can really take the lead here. Who knows how One Spin's going to do. I haven't seen his third game yet, but man, if I can keep on rocking it and stay in the front, I'm great. So just talking a little bit of campaign tactics, really at this point, I've killed off the harder ones that I have. So what I really want to do is throw 3 virtues into every list and just kind of like, Old West, just wildfiring and hoping to start hit these. Now, the big thing here is I'm really good at focusing at getting the objective, especially where I don't need to win. If I can be slaughtered but I have to do this small thing here, I can usually make it happen by focusing my army. Now, the real issue I'm going to have going into this game is I'm going to be up against a pretty scary opponent. It's the same vampire player that I played against with my dwarves a little way back, although with a bit of a different list. Now, what it's really based around is he took some things out from last time. There's no ghouls, no crypt horrors, but there's the 2 scream bats. There is his vampire lord. There's another vampire. There's another necromancer there. Some zombie units, some dog units, some spirit hosts in there, and then it's all about the big night bus. That's a big scary thing to deal with, and then some big skeleton blocks as well. But the real thing is that, of course, there's lots of chaff. It can hold you down. If you get the spirit host in the right spot, it can hold down a whole lance for so long. And really, this whole time this is happening, the terror, the terror geist is just screaming, ah, ah, and just killing all my guys. Now, let me go over my list, and I can tell you why this is a real issue for me. First of all, I'm running 2 lords in my BSB. I have 1 lord that's going to have, he's going to be going for the virtue of the knightly temper. He just has a lance, a steed, and a charm shield. Now, what he needs to do is get in there and in the charge, kill 4 guys over the course of the game. He's going to have to be joined to a unit of Knights of the Realm, but that's not really that big of a deal. My next lord, and that guy's going to be my general, by the way. The next lord is going to be the virtue of the impetuous knight. Now, what he has to do, he also has the silver lance, a shield and the steed. What he has to do is always charge whenever possible. So that can be very scary, and he also has to be in a unit of knights errant. So that's, of course, that's where he has to be. Then I have my BSB Paladin, and I love this build. It's a BSB Paladin with the virtue of Stoicism, and he has a Sword of Might and the Steed. And I love this build because it's completely retarded. What that vow gives you is you get to reroll a break test, whereas a BSB gets to do it all the time anyway. So it's a stupid thing to have on there, but just kind of like making fun of the vow. What you have to do for this one is just never break from combat, and I can't take the Crown of Command. I never take it anyway, because I'm Malorian. I don't lose combats. Yeah, right, anyway. But so that's what he's going to be doing. Past this is actually a lot like my past knight list. So I have a big unit of 15 knights errant with a banner and errantry banner. Another 15, they have the banner of discipline. 12 knights of the realm, they're going to have full command and a flaming banner. Then what I have for my throwaway units is 2 units of the 5 knights of the realm, and then 9 questing knights with banner and gleaming pennant, and then 12 grail knights with banner. Now what you probably see is missing there is I have no shooting. So if I had 2 trebuchets, okay, they're screaming bats, I'll be shooting them, yeah, that'll be no problem. Yeah, I have no shooting. So these terror bats are going to be dominating the game. So this is going to be very scary. As well, I have no magic, because when I'm trying to force all these characters in for these vows, I can't go any more silly. So, yeah, that's going to be a problem, especially because he's taking a lot of magic, and we'll have to see what happens. But really, going into this, I am not trying to win. I do not think I'm going to be able to win this. So what I'm going to try and do is just try and get some of these virtues. If my guy with the Impetuous Knight just charges some zombies on the side and then hides, hooray. If my other unit charges into zombies and kills 4 guys and then hides, hooray. My BSB is just going to be hiding in one of those units anyway. If he lives, hooray, I'm good. So that's the plan. Operation Virtue, and everything else is Operation Stall for Time, and hopefully be screamed at and not at the characters. So, man, we'll see if it works. All right, so here's looking at the board from the left side. He has 3 of these Valar Geists, some dogs here, a Spirit Host, some of those skeletons. Then he has his main real center. And I mean, last game he put all this stuff in the flank. Today it's right in the middle. So the idea of me like hitting one flank and going for the scenario or for like the virtues could be very hard. Because, hey, he's going to be hitting me right in the center. Right in the middle, you can see that's where his big, huge bunker is. The guy in the center is his Vampire Lord. Just to the left of him, that's his BSB. And then here on the far right, it's a whole bunch of troops with the zombies, with the Necromancer, more dogs, and more skeletons. For my left flank, I have a unit of 5, my Knights Errant, and then my Knights of the Realm that have 2 of my characters, my General, so the Virtue of the Knightly Templar, and my BSB. My kind of other side here, the middle, I guess, will be my Questing Knights, my Grail Knights, and another small unit. And then my far right is going to be the Knights Errant with my other Lord that's going for the Impetuous Knight. So overall, it looks like this. We kind of just threw things down for terrain, didn't really roll it off or anything. But this is him after Vanguards. But the biggest thing here that was killer is that, man, he just out-deployed me because what could I do, right? He has his Spirit Host, he has his dogs, ghouls, all these things he could throw down. And what I really wanted was to see where the Knights went and the Bats, and then put my character units on the opposite flank, hoping to get a setup kind of like with my last game, where all of his things are on one flank, because I assumed he'd do the same thing. He did not. And so now, all of a sudden, the way this is, with all the stuff in the center, I'm pretty sure that my General and BSB is going to be in a lot of trouble. My Knights Errant on the far right with that guy, I think they're going to be fine. So one Virtue should be all right. But overall, this is going to be tough. So, yeah, I mean, really, I'm going to do my best, but this is going to be tough. So I pray he gets first turn, and the first thing I get is some flying vampires on my flank. So, you know, that's always fun and dangerous, and yeah, pretty bad. Otherwise, he moves up and then also gets off Van Hel's with 2 dice, bubble spell. So all the stuff moved right in my face. So the big thing that I was looking for here is that before he moved, it looked like I had a lot of big lances into his general's unit, right? The big, his Death Star. After he moved up again with the Van Hales, now it's like, oh, I think I can get 2 lances into him, maybe. But I'm going to have to take some, you know, dangerous terrain, but it should be all right. I mean, if I get into Grails in my General's unit, I'm pretty sure I can do all right. But at this point, I don't know how those guys are built, so I was pretty scared. Yeah, but then this happened. Because on those 2 dice casting, what do you know? It's freaking double 6s. Of course it's a dimensional cascade. Of course it kills almost the whole unit. And it also kills his general as well. So, wow, that was so bad for him. And now I can easily charge in here with 1 unit and finish him off pretty easily. So otherwise, at the end of his turn here, remember he has to go through a round of crumbling, his Terrorgeist on the right, just dead. The wolves down to the 1. Each of his Spirit Hosts had taken a wound. His zombies are dying. His other Terrorgeist on the far left already took 3 wounds. The dogs blocking my other big lance died. Yeah, I mean, this is freaking turn 1, and look at this. I mean, yeah, I mean, sometimes the luck just goes your way. So Bretonnian turn 2, and what I do is I charge in with actually all, well, 2 of my units, the Questing Knights, the Grail Knights and my Knights of the Realm like I planned. The Grail Knights failed, and these guys charged in, and I failed 5 dangerous terrain. I was this close to complaining, and I was like, oh, wait a second. I have no right to complain whatsoever. Otherwise, I have the small unit of Knights go into the Terrorgeist. I think they'll be able to handle it, if not hold it up. Knights go into the Skeletons, just trying to slowly work them down. And then over here, I had the small units going into the zombies. They're so small now, I'm sure I can handle them. My unit that has to charge goes into the dog, and hey, if nothing else, there's my 1 charge I had to do. What I wanted to do was get the Questing Knights into the Spirit Host, just to lock it down and start breaking it down with combat res. But since the Grail Knights charged, they had to get out of the way, so they blocked the Questing Knights, and yeah, they're just kind of like cuddling in the back. So otherwise, things got a little bit scary here because I failed a fear test. He has a lot of leadership shenanigans, And yeah, I mean, with me not hitting him on my threes and now hitting him on fives, I don't know if I can actually pop this unit here. And by the way, he's not going to be making this guy the general. He's going to be making it the necromancer because they all have the lore of vampires. But it'd be really nice for me to kill this right away. All right, so after the combat here, on the far left, the Terrorgeist is dead because, hey, you know, he had already lost 3 wounds and I rolled all right. Actually, the horses did 2 wounds, of course. Kill off the zombies, rolled pretty good there. Kill, of course, the single dog, no problem. And in the main combat there, I challenge with the champ. He doesn't kill me. His vampire kills one of my knights. I actually rolled really well from my armor saves. And then in return, I'm able just to kill, I think it was just one guy or something. But in the end, basically the unit crumbles and it's just the vampire now. So at this point, I know he's going to die. I would have rather he died before he got some more magic or something. But yeah, looking pretty solid for turn 1. So his turn 2, he has some counter charges. The Vargeist going to my flank. That's going to be scary. Then the Spirit Host going as well. I think he forgot the Grail Knights have magical attacks. But at this point, does it really matter anyway? Over here, he does some magical, you know, craziness. After he made the Master Necromancer over here, the General, I was looking forward to killing him. And he gets off Van Hale's, I think, what is it, with the regular spell. And I thought he was going to use it to make the skeletons kind of block me. But what he's trying to do is actually just try and kill off my characters, I think. So he uses it to move his block to the side. So now it's in range of the vampire. And then uses the bound Van Hales to get him rerolls. So he'll be kind of scary. But in the end, he has a lot of work to do. So at the end of his turn, the Vargeist beat me. I wasn't steadfast. And he runs me down. The Vargeist are actually on the edge of the table. They just barely didn't go off the board. Otherwise, the one Spirit Host is dead. The other one, I combat reformed to face. Yeah, and in the combat there, I just challenged with my Lord. And with the Charm Shield taking away an attack and all these things, he did nothing to me. He just pops. And yeah, I mean, at this point, he was just ready to give up. But of course, because of the campaign, we just need to play this out at least a little bit more. So my turn 2, I charge this unit to the back of the skeletons. And remember my virtue, the temper guy, the knightly temper has to kill 4 guys. So I need to fight an easy unit like this to score up some kills. And then in the end here, yeah, now the other Spirit Host is popped. The skeletons completely popped. I scored my thing right there, easy. I tried over running into the Vargeist, didn't quite make it, but no big deal. And on the far right here, yeah, I double charged into the unit with the Master Necromancer. Didn't challenge, had to set up so my Lord was facing his Master Necromancer. And of course, you know, with the Silver Lance, I got 4 attacks that automatically hit at strength 6. That's 1 dead Necromancer. And so he's back to crumbling and only has 2 units anyway. So back to his turn 3, we get to crumbling, some skeletons die. Over here he rolls really high, takes 5 wounds, so 1 Vargeist is dead, another one's just down to 1 wounds. Remember, he's facing the wrong way, and at this point he decides to call it because, I mean, really, he could move to the side, but I got knights all over the place, so I could countercharge. I could run away from him. By the time he actually gets to charge, he'll probably lose at least 1 more wound. So, I mean, we could play it out for him to try and kill some characters, but honestly, it's just not really going to happen. Wow. So there you go. You know, like mad skills of Malorian does. Yeah, this was just damn luck. Like I said, going into this game, I wasn't trying to win. I was just trying to get like maybe 2 virtues if I really focus on it. But as it went, you know, when I looked at the board and the way it was, I thought, okay, damn, it looked like my general, my BSB would die, and so maybe I can get 1 and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, what can you do when your guy blows up, right? With vampire counts, his general blows up, the Terrorgeist is gone. Yeah, it was just one of those games where, like, handed to me in a silver platter. Now, I'm not the only guy who got lucky like this. Remember that Once Bitten had that with his peasants against lizardmen. So we're sharing around the luck, except for Anthony. We're just piling all the bad luck to him, so we're doing okay. But this is another 3 virtues, and this is massive. Because now after 3 games, I'm already up to 8 virtues out of the 13 or whatever it is. So really dominating lead. I don't know what One Spin's going to get in his game, but unless it's like 2 or 3, I have a commanding lead. Now, of course, going forward, it's going to be hard because some of the other things are really matchup dependent, like where I have to kill a character or a monster or beat cavalry on the charge. And I mean, if I'm not up against those things, or if they're so good, like if I charge in with a character usually into a vampire lord, I'm just dead unless they explode or something. But it could be very difficult, but just going to keep on doing the same thing, piling on those 3 virtues, hoping for mad skills and mad luck, and there you go. So kind of a fast game, but go Team Malorian. So thanks for watching. Bye.